सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। The samsara is visualized and presented as a tree. Don't take it literally, please. Because at each verse, the description of the tree, the vision of the tree keeps changing. See, so don't take it, it is a static one. It's just a visualization for a person to comprehend the idea of samsara. Right. So literally we cannot take. As you know, it is actually a tree standing somewhere. It's not actual tree standing somewhere. It's just a comparisons. So that you don't, understand it as a fixed point. That's why initially the first verse gives a description of the samsara from the macrocosm, as it were. And then he comes to the secondary roots, the individual. So the primary root is Brahman. And then he says there are many branches. There's all this big branches. All those big branches and all this is considered to be the things that shoot out from there, the trunk and the branch and all that. That's the Mahabhutas. Right. And then from there comes individual branches, small branches comes. That's the individual bodies. And then the entire tree is sustained. The nourishment for the tree will die. You take out all the leaves, the tree will die. So the nourishment for the tree comes from the leaves. He said that leaves were the Vedas. Then how does this reach? That small branches start. The small branches starts as buds. It will come as a small one first. It will just protrude with just two small leaves will be there. And then suddenly after about few months you see, it becomes a branch by itself. See, so like that, the whole thing happens. So what is the buds here? He says the buds is the sense objects. How? Because there are objects, you contact that object, you enjoy that object. Because of that, there is a desire for object. And once you have a desire, you will be forced to act. And the moment you act, you develop more desire, more involvement, or karma, punya, papa, vasana, whatever words you want to use, you use now. Thus, the entire cycle keeps continuing. That keeps on going, it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. If there are no objects, there is no desire. As simple as that. What is the proof? Your grandfather would have never had a desire for an iPhone. Your grandfather never had a desire for iPhone. How many of the current kids have desire to play Gilli Danda. You know Gilli Danda game? Do they play? Or this Goli and all, this marbles play. Where do we play that? There's no desire for those things. Why there's no desire for that? It's not there. If it is there, they will develop a desire. If it is not there, there's no desire. Temple Run. Remember Temple Run? There is no desire for Temple Run. Why? Who is going to play there? You remember in the Nokia we have one snake? My God, hours together we are playing in that. Today you see that. Looks, are you mad? To keep playing this? It's not there anymore. Why? Objects are not there. So the whole thing starts from where? Object. From where that object came, sir? Because of somebody's desire. Somebody had a desire. What is a desire? He wanted to make money. How to make money? Provide objects to satisfy your desires, your needs. The moment I create object to make your life simple, that's what we say, development. All this development, whatever we talk about, is what? All the scientific developments is only for making our life easy. Making your life easy means what? It means what? Means? Less effort. Means? No work. Less effort means what? Automatic car. Manual car. How was it earlier? My father used to say, if they have to start a car, start a bus, they have to roll the thing and then pull. And you need strength, to pull it. So sometimes the driver will be very old, so you will not know how to do it. So he will call somebody from the village. Hey, come and start the bus. No, start the bus. No. Because it needs that. Now today what is it? Why do you have to push button? It's very old, that is. Today what you have to do in the car? You just have to go in near the car, go and sit in the car, start, it will start. I said, no, sir, there's better cars are there. What? You don't even have to enter the car, sit in your room and press, take a mobile phone, Gemini, start my car. Gemini will start your car. Because otherwise, it's very hot, no? So when you enter the car, AC should be on, right? How do you do that? Otherwise, you have to open the door and open the other side of the door also and keep fanning the door so that the hot air goes out, and then after 10 minutes, you will feel okay inside. Now what is it? Means what? More and more you are making life easier means implication is what? Less effort. Less effort for this information to be passed from one place to another place. How difficult it was. So much of work needs to be done. Today, that's how we engage our intellect. So intellect is engaged only for what? You start your thinking process only when. See, a boy meets a girl and he wants to talk to her. Can he just go and talk? Hmm? No. So much of planning, so much of strategy, so much of strategy and so much of planning, so much of thinking. All the strategy is for what? Is driven by what? Strategy is done by the intellect, buddhi. But the entire strategy is driven by the drive is desire. To talk to a person, what is there to have so much of thinking? Just talk, no. Why do you have to think so much? The whole thing starts from where? The presence of that object. That's why he compares that to sense objects. He says the whole thing started from where? The cycle starts from the presence of that object. You contact that object, and you are having an inherent weakness for anything that gives you joy. Automatically, what is going to happen? You get more involved. So that's how the new branch comes. That's how new desire comes. That's how new this thing comes. That's how new this comes. That's how he compares the whole thing. Karmanubandhi manushya loke. Yes.
So so if there is no object, there is no desire. The object can be even a thought in my imagination, right? It's not literally object which I'm sensing. It can be in my mind.
Yeah, it can be in your mind, but desire will not be there. Action will you do?
So how
In
did
your
Steve
in your
Jobs come up with
imagination.
iPhone? Because the iPhone didn't exist.
Yes.
Or was it that a phone existed and he wanted to improve that? That is the object he was thinking of. How does that happen?
Okay. Telephone came from what?
Wanting to communicate.
That's all it is. Desire is there. Desire is there. But then your desire gets a crystallization only when the presence of object is there. If there is no object, where is a desire? The whole thing starts from where?
But then there would
Activity, life activity starts from where? You have to receive a stimuli, right?
Yeah.
If you don't receive any stimuli, what will happen? Can there be a reaction? There can be a response back? Action comes from where? You do things. Why do you do things?
Stimuli has to be there.
Stimuli has to be there. Stimuli comes from the world. Is the entire world created by you? It's not your creation. The mountain that is standing there is not your creation. You see that? Another angle. Can you say world is created by you? Did you create the world? Yes or no? How can you say you created the world? It's absurd statement. You created a world is an absurd statement. There is no. We are not thinking standing on the grounds. We just talk. Profundity will be there. There's no substance. The statements can be. That's why philosophy can be very misleading a lot. Remember, dangerous one. Because we'll get carried away by the profundity of ideas. Without understanding the ground, are we standing on a solid ground? See, the world is not created by you. You see, but then you only say, no, sir, that is your world. In that world, you see something. You see that? Moon is not created by you, but when you see the moon, do you see only the moon? isn't it? Do you just see the moon? No. A fellow who is hungry sees it as idli. The one who is in lady love, he sees his beloved's face. Now, is it moon or beloved's face? Is it moon or idli? It is just moon. But then you add something to it. That your addition is the first thing. You see that? But then the world is not created by you. Your world is created by you. Your world is different. The world standing outside is different. What I say is independent of how you understand, no? Correct? At least this much we understand. I say one thing, you understand it as some. Is there a match? Is it the same?
No.
I am talking about elephant, you are understanding it as camel. Absolutely, there is no connection, actually speaking. But then you will go out thinking what? Ishwaran is talking about camel. You will never even realize that I was never talking about camel, I am actually talking about elephant. In that context, we say the world is created by you. You see that? That's why the Satyam is divided into 3 brackets. Reality, existence. What is existing? Existence is classified into 3 brackets here. The first one is absolute. Paramarthika Satyam, they say. Second one is Vyavaharika Satyam. Third one is Pratibhasika Satyam. Right. This Pratibhasika Satyam is camel. Right. Subjective reality. Absolute reality, objective reality, subjective reality. Where do you live your life? Your life is defined by your subjectivity. Unless otherwise you have the capacity to keep aside the subjectivity and look at the objective reality is a preliminary step. Then comes you probe into that objective reality and understand that objective reality also is not absolute. Then you investigate into what is that absolute reality. So first step is what? First step is to understand subjective reality. What is the subjectivity that you are adding there to the objective reality?
Pratibhasika Satyam is my world.
My world, your world. Then comes the world. Bangalore is not created by you. You didn't create Bangalore. But then, when you are transacting with Bangalore, you will have one perception about it. Right? One fellow says it's a great opportunity, sir. Another fellow says Bangalore means what? Traffic, sir. Roads are very bad. Another fellow says roads are very good in Bangalore. Now, depends on what? Subjective. You see, depends upon that particular subject, that individual. So, first thing what we are addressing in Vedanta is to the individual it is addressed. Whether it is only one person sitting or 10,000 people sitting or millions of people may be sitting, message is to one individual only. There's no collective here. So first thing Vedanta says is, first you understand what you are experiencing as reality, what you believe as something that is existing, that existence to be probed. When you probe there, you understand there are two. The third one is introduced by the scriptures. The first two you can understand. Subjective and objective. The subjective and objective reality confusion is what this Western philosophers have this confusion about realism and idealism. Pratibhasika Satyam and Paramarthika Satyam. Vyavaharika Satyam. Sorry. Confusion is between these two. You say it exists parallelly. Then comes the third. In the third stage only you go to the scripture. The scripture comes and says this Pratibhasika Satyam as well as this Vyavaharika Satyam, both are Mithya. Verse 3. In the context of 15th chapter, verse 1, Vyavaharika. Verse 2, Pratibhasika. Verse 3, he says, what you experienced as Satyam earlier, both are what? Mithya. What is that? That's what he says first. He says, Narupa madhyeha nato prapyate. Rupa is not perceived. You cannot understand what it is. See, for you to say, yeah, there is a phone on my table. There's a mobile phone on my table. How do you know? How do you know that? There's a mobile phone on my table. You see it, no? Correct. You are able to see it. The fan is on. How? You can feel that. Even if you can't look up, you can still feel the air coming. So, anything that is existing for you to say, you need to employ a particular method. Correct? Something to be employed. Something on the basis of something only you can say that is existing. It's there. That's called pramana. You see? Now I tell you, there is an elephant sitting next to me. There's an elephant behind me, if I say. What will be your answer? No, there's no elephant sitting behind you, sir. What has happened to you? There's no elephant. The non-existence of elephant, do you perceive? Okay, imagine a person who is listening to the class. Okay, not in present, in future. Right? If at all they listen to. Right? Can that person say, there is an elephant behind me or not? Why? See, you are able to say, there is no elephant. If he also says, there is no elephant behind Ishwaran, what is that? Or he says, if Ishwaran says must be correct. Usually he doesn't lie. So when he says there is elephant, there should be. There should be. He taking that is not based on any pramana, it is based on faith, good faith. Ishwaran doesn't lie, Only a couple of instances he lies, otherwise he doesn't lie, sir. La. On what basis? There's no pramana based, that is Shraddha based. When I claimed there is a phone on my table, you saying yes is also a pramana. Right? Similarly, when I said there is elephant, there is no elephant, is also based on pramana. This is called Anupalabdhi pramana. The phone is there on my table. You said that based on pratyaksha pramana. You're able to see. Right? So, what we understand from this? We say, for any object to be claimed as existing or non-existing, there has to be a pramana. Right? Without a pramana, can you say? No. You cannot. Right? Now the problem is, can that object, can something be existing and non-existing at the same time, the same place? An object can exist at a time. An object cannot exist at a time. Correct. For both we can employ a pramana and say yes, there is. Now the question is, can an object said to be existing as well as non-existing, same time, same place?
If you take the different realities, yes. Pratibhaska, Vyavaharika, at the same time if you visualize, yes, it can be existing and it cannot, need not be existing. You see a mirage and you understand it is a mirage, then mirage you see is a pratyaksha. It is,
Is it existing?
it's not existing.
Out.
You're seeing it, but it doesn't exist.
Does it? It's like movie watching. Why you mirage and all that movie? You know it is not there, but then you are seeing it. But can you say movie is satyam?
No, you can't say.
You can't say that. What is the nature of it? Now that's where he comes now. In the third verse, he probes into the samsaric description that he gave, demolishes this completely in the third verse. In the first two verses, he gives a beautiful description. When he is describing the whole thing, we feel almost that we have, now I understand. Not Brahman. He's not talking about Brahman, remember. He's still talking about the samsara world. What is that? That is called mithya. Something which cannot be established on the basis of any pramana as existing nor as non-existing, but experienced. Because anything which is not existing cannot be experienced. The elephant is established through this Anupalabdhi Pramana as non-existing, which means that elephant is not available for your experience. Right? You can't experience. If you are experiencing something, means what? It is there. If it is there, which means it should be established by some pramana, no? Then it has to be satyam. You investigate what happens. Employ that pramana, what happens? The world disappears. World doesn't stand the test of pramanas. So through a pramana you cannot establish, but anything which is through a pramana, when you say it is non-existing, then it should not be available for experience. But the world is experienced, samsara is experienced. When the samsara is experienced by the person, he probes. When he starts probing, suddenly what happens? Then what is the basis for on which this experience existing? You say it is not existing on the basis of pramana, it is existing on the basis of Brahma. Right? It's not pramana as the foundation. Foundation is not pramana for this. Then what is the pramana?
Subjectivity.
Brahma is the pramana. Brahma, not prama. Pramana is clarity, understanding, knowledge, wisdom. Right? Brahma is ignorance, delusion, confusion. Because of confusion, the whole thing is existing. This Brahma is, in other words, is called as application of a wrong pramana. What is Brahma? Confusion. What is the confusion? Which pramana should be employed for this purpose? If you have to establish a color of an object, what should be the pramana? Eyes. Doesn't matter whose eye. Human eye or a bee's eye. We are not discussing about human eye is correct or bee eye is correct. Which eye is? Our problem is not that. We don't care about that. If you have to establish color of an object, if you have to say this is the color of something, the only right pramana to be employed is what? Eyes. Instead of employing that eye as a pramana, imagine a person employs a nose and comes to a conclusion that this is blue color. What is that? That's called Brahma. He says that is how we have come to an understanding with reference to the samsara. So the samsara is standing there not because of pramana, it is standing because of Brahma. Therefore, the nature of this is illusion, mithya. Mithya means what? You can not conclusively say this is what it is. You cannot say it is real, nor can you say it is unreal, nor can you say it is partly real, partly unreal. So, little bit of reality is there, sir. Little bit means how much? Can there be a little bit of, in the rope, sir, little bit is snake? Is it possible? But then from where that snake came? What is the pramana you used to establish the snake there? To say there is a snake. Confusion, sir. That's what he says. Its form is not perceived here as such. There's no clarity. Neither its scent, nor origin, nor clear foundation. Nothing is clear about the tree. Now what to do? But I am experiencing the tree. But I am seeing the tree. What to do with the tree? He says, simply cut it. Simply chop it off. Problem solved. Is there only problem? No. Throw that man. How do you go about cutting a tree? You don't straight away go to the main trunk. You know that? The tree which has many branches, if they have to cut the tree, first thing you do is what? Chop the branches. Cut the branches first. And that's what he says. First, what you need to do is cut the branches. What is the branches from where you have to start? He says, start from the smaller branches. Cut from the small branches. Cut all these things. That's why third verse is not a complete verse. It's just a halfway. Second line, see the first line says the world is mithya. Right. Verse number 1, Ishvara Srishti. Right. Verse number 2, Jiva Srishti. Paramarthika Satyam, Vyavaharika Satyam, whatever way you want. Macrocosm, microcosm. In our language, we use the word macrocosm and microcosm. Both put together is the tree of samsara. Verse number 1 and 2 put together is the description of samsaric tree. Verse 3, first line, is there's no certainty about, there's no clarity about this tree. Which means what? Implication is, he says it is of the nature of mithya. Mithya means, don't say it is non-existent. You cannot say it is asat. Asat is non-existing. So he's not saying samsara is non-existent. Right? Samsara is neither existent. It is neither sat nor asat. Because you can establish something as sat, something as asat using an appropriate pramana. But then employ those pramanas. You cannot establish the nature of this. You cannot say it is sat, nor can you. Employ the reasoning. Employ logic. Sat means what? It should be existing at all periods of time. Is it existing? No. It is constantly changing. Because there is no consistency, therefore, you cannot say it is sat. Therefore, is it asat? Not possible. All this is what we should have known earlier. Based on that, he declares. In the 15th chapter, he is not going about reasoning. Like 3rd chapter, 5th chapter and all we find, he goes about with reasoning. He reasons. Here, there is no reasoning. He is only declaration. He just states. Right? That's why this 15th chapter is equated to Upanishad level. Why? Because Upanishads don't give reasons, they don't give. They simply declare, full stop. Take it or leave it. I don't agree. You say, I don't care. I don't agree with you if you go and tell the sister. You think he is going to be bothered? No. Let's sit for a debate. We'll say, okay. I don't think you are a brilliant man. I think you are an idiot. They say, okay. Yeah, correct. Suddenly you come and say, no, you are the most brilliant person, sir. You are the, is it? Is it so? Is it so? Whatever you say, he doesn't care. Because he is not sitting for a discussion here. Right? He is just stating. It is our responsibility, it is our business to do whatever you want to do with it. Upanishads were like that. Upanishads simply declares. They will not sit and explain. We have to sit and do the analysis. What is this, sir? The world is made up of time, space, causation. Time means this, space means this problem, causation means this problem. Because we go on investigating into the cause of it. Finally, you have to arrive at a conclusion that what is the cause for the very causation itself? How can there be a cause for a causation? Which means causation itself came later. Right? My date of birth has to be after my father's date of birth. Correct? Oh, year of birth. Okay, date also may come. Yeah. Has to be. Imagine one fellow comes and says, I am born before my father. And he gives that as an Aadhaar card. In passport, you have to give this. Yes, who is father, who is son now? And vision comes. No, it is not possible. Now, if everything in the world has causation belongs to the world, which means causation should have a causa, which means causation is the effect, that cause is the cause, which means causation was existing before the birth of causation only. Adepdi. You see that? But then it is there. You see, you reason that, you come to, you will never be able to arrive at what is the real nature of this samsara, this world. Therefore, they give it a name called Mithya. Mithya. That world, what am I supposed to do? Chop it off. Imaginary tree only. Not the real tree. He's not asking you to cut that real tree. Tell Meghu, I'm not saying cut the tree and all that, because she will get angry with me. They're all, this environmental conscious people, This one is there, so I'll tell her directly. And Meghu is not here, so you have to go and tell her. So she'll say, Ishwaran says, cut the tree. I'm not saying cut the tree. I say, yes, cut that imaginary tree. What tree? Tree of samsara. What is the nature of the tree? Beautiful one. He gives that as a... So, how is the tree now? The tree is not having clear foundation and all those things, but then it is deep rooted. See that? Suviruda Moolam. That Moolam, that root is Suviruda. It is deep rooted. It is firmly established. Which one? Imaginary tree. That imaginary tree is deep rooted. That tree you have to cut. For that, what you need? It gives a beautiful one. Use this Dridena Chitva. You need a strong instrument. Is the axe. By the strong axe. What Shastra you have to use here? In Dhanurveda, they give this, there are two types of weapons. Astra and Shastra. There are two types. Brahmastra. It is Astra. Astram means, what is the difference between Astram and Shastram? Astram is invoked with a mantra. Right? A weapon with a mantra becomes Astra. Anything can be. It's not necessarily it has to be bow and arrow. Many people think, it is bow and arrow. The arrow, that is Astra. It is not that, please. It is anything that is used as a weapon coupled with a mantra. Invoked with mantra becomes Astra. Without invoking any mantra, it becomes Shastram. Right? You just take a mace and hit. Take a sword fight. And they do. It is Shastra. There's no Astra there. Why? There is no mantra associated with that sword. If the same sword is associated with the mantra, then the same becomes Astra. I say this Brahmastra. Rama could invoke Brahmastra on a blade of grass. In Ramayana. A blade of grass. The fellow, invoke Brahmastra. Anything can be used. It doesn't matter. Need not necessarily it has to be. Only thing is what? You must be having the Siddhi. You should have attained that mantra. That mantra Siddhi you get only by repeating that mantra. Not mechanical, okay, from today onwards I am going to repeat. Along with the required discipline, along with the required system, you have to. Only then you will be able to have that mantra in your control. That's why in Mahabharata, finally this fellow, hurled this Brahmastra, Ashwatthama. But then the problem is what? You can't pull it back. Why? Same mantra only. There's no difference. That's a curse of Karna. Amazing curse. People get annoyed, with this one. That's because of your emotional attachment with that fellow. Your stupidity, that is. But Parashurama's curse is what a curse that was. In Mahabharata. Karna's curse is one of the classic one. You think, Parashurama got angry, he cursed. In anger, he curses. Now, what he should have cursed? What is a curse for Karna? Not all, you'll forget. There's an important clause there.
At the time of
When you need, you will forget. Which means what? Which means?
Knowledge is useless at that time. What?
Which means? You will forget when you need. Means you will be able to remember that all the time. Is it not? If I remember something all the time, what is the notion I will go out with?
I know it.
I will remember.
I know it.
I'll remember it. No, I know. Imagine Karna would have forgotten everything. All that is taught by Parshurama, all that he has learned from Parshurama, he has forgotten and he comes back. Do you think he would have challenged Arjuna? Huh? Would he be boasting in front of Arjuna? And I am such a great man. I am a great archer. I know everything. I can be better than you. I am equal to even Krishna. From where he got all those things? From where he had tremendous confidence right through. Almost bordering, I would say overconfidence factually, but because most of you will get angry with me. Correct. Bordering, overconfident. Why? From where he got that? Because anytime you ask him, even if he is fast asleep, right, deep sleep that fellow is, you wake him up and ask him, what is a mantra to be used for this astra? He will give immediately. So which means he will be genuinely believing what? Parshurama's curse is not working on him. Right? Amazing curse. You think Parshurama would have cursed out of anger? Now, how he learnt this? He learnt it through wrong. So, when you learn something through wrong, what is going to be the scenario, sir? It will be there with you. It's not that it is not going to be there with you. It will be there with you. That knowledge will be there. That wealth will be there. That name will be there. That fame will be there. Everything will be there with you. But when you needed it the most, it will not be. When will you need it the most? Anything that you have in your life, you will need it the most when?
He's fighting Arjuna. Yeah.
When you are about to die. Isn't it? Medical insurance policy should be used when?
The time of
At the time of hospitalization, no. Not when you are. When you enter the gym, you don't take your medical, this one, and say, this is my medical policy number, sir. The gym, you don't use that. Why? Because you are healthy. Only when you are ill. Imagine a mediclaim company says, I will give you the policy, sir. You pay the premium, sir. It will be there in your account, sir. But only problem, you know what? When you come for claim, we will not. Otherwise, it is there. What's the use of it? But that delusion he gets into is what? Amazing curse, huh? These fellows. Oh, this. Beauty. Who is talking about his curse? Brahmastra.
Brahma.
This Astra and Shastra. This person, he says, use this Shastra. Why? Because in Shastra, you have to labor a lot. You see, in using the mace and fighting is labor intense. Astra, not labor intense. He says, initial effort is what? The first stage of spiritual effort is this. verse number 3, second line. And verse number 4, he goes to other dimensions of effort. So first thing he says is, you need to have this. What is that you need to use? To cut a tree, which one you use? Axe. That axe has to be how? It has to be a strong axe. A strong axe has to be. If you have a solid iron axe but blunt, what will happen? It's a useless one. The axe of Vairagya has to get stronger. Also, it has to be sharper. How do you sharpen your Vairagya? How do you sharpen the axe?
Grinding the stone. Grinding on the stone.
How?
Yes,
That friction, you have to keep doing this. You see? That's Viveka. Discriminative thinking. That sharpening of how sharp your Vairagya, detachment, is going to be, is defined based on the intensity of your vichara, viveka. If you have not done this, investigation, and the problem today is all of us want to become spiritual, religious, and all these things without any reference to renunciation, detachment, vairagya. That's not the context at all, actually. You see, people go to this, the temples and all, it's amazing to see nowadays. Lot of people have started going to temples nowadays. You know that? Off late. Maybe Corona. Thanks to Corona, maybe. Suddenly we see the shift, There's a lot of people going. Any temple you go, crowd is there. All the temples. But how many of them are going to the temple for Vairagya's sake? Is this Vairagya the reference point? Renunciation the reference point? Without the reference point of renunciation, all of us want to practice religion. Now, religion without renunciation is a dead carcass. It's just a dead body. Now, what breathes into religion, what gives life to religion is the spirit of renunciation. The problem is we are not developing that renunciation. We are not interested in renunciation because we have a fear in the term renunciation, vairagya, detachment. The term itself is scary for us. We feel very uncomfortable with it. We think that's life of problem. We say, cut the tree. How? Using this strong axe. What is the nature of the tree? The tree is not just many times we find, there are trees standing, tree will be standing, but inside everything is gone. All that it needs is what? One small shower is enough. Drizzle is enough. Little loosening of the soil, what happens to the entire tree? Plop, it falls. You see that many places, but externally you look, he says not like that. This samsaric tree is not like that. This samsaric tree is what? Deep rooted. So don't think it is just one breeze will come and remove the whole thing. It's not that I go to Tirupati, I will see Balaji and I will get moksha. Vaikuntha Ekadasi, sir. I pass through this. He keeps the door open. Not only on one day. 365 days his door is open. The problem is what? His problem is nobody is knocking at my door. How many of us go to God and ask Him? We go and ask Him so many things, but we don't ask for Him. Give you to me, man. Rest of it will get added on. Says Christ, no? A beautiful statement. Seek the kingdom of heaven. Everything else shall be added on to you. Like Ramtita says, one prince, on his birthday, he announced, whatever is asked by the public will be given. Everybody came and asked, I want cattle, I want horses, I want post, I want, diamonds, I want this, I want that, and all these things. One girl came. She said, I want you. That's it. Now he can't say no. He married her. And now what has happened? All the cattle, all the titles, all that, everything became hers, including the prince. Now who is rich now? That's why Mahalakshmi is rich, not Vishnu. Balaji is not. This fellow is a debtor. He is still paying interest. Poor fellow. But Mahalakshmi is what? Why? Including the prince, this lady has acquired. That is being smart. If you go there, if you go, you should ask. But the problem is what? We want to practice religion without renunciation. Without renunciation, there is no religion. There is no spirituality. There is neither religion nor spiritual. Because the essence is this. He says, first, develop that. With Vairagya, what are you going to do? You cut those branches. And then we have to understand what is Vairagya. I'm not getting into what is Viveka. Viveka analysis is not it. Because he is discussing directly only with reference to Vairagya. Now, if we say this Vairagya, what is this? With this Vairagya you have to. How do you do this? Cut the tree, he says. Cutting means what? Not literally standing there and cutting. It's not a physical tree for you to cut it across. The whole thing is in the mind, thought. So at thought level, how do you do that? Cutting means what? Cutting means you chop the tree and then do what? The chopped woods would be taken what? Out. You see, have you seen? They'll just chop it and make it to smaller pieces and then bundle up and throw it off. So what are the things they do, sir? Two things they do there. Same way you have to do two things here. What is it? Cutting. Cutting is what? Analyzing. Process it. Analyze it properly. After analyzing it properly, you have to dismiss it. This analysis and dismissing, analyzing and dismissing, analyzing and dismissing is called Vairagya. Asanga sastrena dridena chitva. Cut this. How do you cut it? Cutting process means what? Cutting process here means two things. Analyze that carefully and then dismiss it. Now we go into what is this? Analyzing means first. What is this analysis here? Vichara, what is the investigation we do? Through this proper application of investigation. And then dismissal. Investigate, dismiss. Investigate, dismiss. Investigate into, is there a substance? What the world promises, does it deliver? You see, it promises, but does it deliver? It promises a lot of things. It says, I'll give you this, I'll give you that, I'll make you happy, I'll give you this, I'll give you security, I'll give you peace, I'll give you enjoyment, I will give you fulfillment. All these things the world promises. And who falls for the promise? Does everyone fall for those promises? When do you fall for a promise?
You desire. When you want it.
When we believe we will get it.
That is the promise. The world is promising, I'll give you, man. Don't worry. Means what? You are worried. Correct? Election promises they give, no? Manifesto they make and they say, we will give this once we come to power. For every one I will give 5,000 rupees every month. Who will fall for that?
Feeble minds.
Hmm?
Feeble
Who
mind.
has a need for it?
One who can't analyze.
That 5,000 rupees will help me. So I
Greed.
need it.
Greed.
Need for that.
Mukesh Ambani will fall for that. Hey, this fellow says 5,000 rupees he'll give here. Wow, we'll vote for him.
If you
And he tells, his wife also, you also vote for him. Huh? Why? 5,000 rupees he is giving.
The one who doesn't have a sufficient amount.
The one who is not able to generate that 5,000 rupees by himself. If I am able to generate, if I am earning 5 lakhs a month, let's say, will I fall for that 5,000 rupees? When I am not able to earn that 5,000 rupees, my capacity is what? I am having only 500 rupees, I have only 50 rupees, I have only 2,000 rupees. And someone comes and says, I'll give you 5,000 rupees. It looks promising in my eyes, correct? Possible, yeah. I think he should be able to give. I don't think it is possible. Like, on election, few years back, this fellow gave. For every farmer, I will give 2 acres. Election manifesto, actually. I'm not talking about it. It's history. Every farmer, I will give 2 acres of land. Entire Tamil Nadu you divide. Still there will be standing, 1 crore fellow will be standing there. You can't, because that much land itself is not there. I'm talking about, cultivable land, non-cultivable land, commercial land, this land, army land, anything you call as land, you divide. Entire length and breadth of Tamil Nadu you divide, and still not enough. But then he says what? Simply say, what is the problem? Because nobody is going to, after I get elected, nobody is going to. If I am not elected, only 2 chances, no? I promise. Either I will get elected or not elected. If I get elected, you cannot come and question me. Why? I am not available. Right? We have put on committee, I will say. That's all. Committee is examining. 5 years only my turn is. The committee will give the report. After, just before, 2 months before election, the committee will give a report. Now the committee has got the report. Next time you elect me, execution will happen. Another 5 years. Problem solved, easy. Who will fall for it? See, the unhappy mind is a mind which develops hope. You see, a happy mind will never have a hope. Think carefully. The mind which is happy will never have a hope. Because what is there to hope? Whereas, Who develops a hope? The hope is developed only when you are disturbed, agitated. Right? So, currently, what is the state of your mind? Currently, your existence is agitated, unhappy. That unhappiness develops a hope. That hope, the world says, I will fulfill. I will promise it. I will give it. What's your problem? You fall for it. That's how you are getting involved in the world. That's how you are getting attached to the world. This is called analysis. How do you analyze it? This is one way of analysis. Now, there are many ways of analyzing it. I'm just starting one direction. That's all it is. One way of starting. That's it. After some time, we'll go in another direction. After some time, we'll go in another direction. It doesn't matter, which direction you go, start. But then finally, where you have to land. Or you investigating into so how the whole thing happens, how you get attached first, because the world is appearing to be promising. Why the world is appearing to be promising? Not inherently, it is because of my hope. I believe the world will provide. Why? Because I am not having it with me. Because I am not having it with me, because I am not happy now, I develop a hope. Because right now I am feeling insecure, I develop a hope for security. Right now I am unhappy, I develop a hope for happiness. Right now I am not fulfilled, I develop a hope of fulfillment. And the world is promising that. Obviously, what you will do? You fall for it. Now, Viveka does what now? It goes and questions. Is the world capable of giving? 2 acres of land I will give to everybody. There is a land. So the land itself is not there. Forget about giving it, which means that land includes his house also. A fellow says, I will take out all the wealth from the wealthy people and distribute to the poor. First give from your pocket, then talk. What? I'll take out from Robin Hood or what? A fraud fellow that guy is. You steal from these fellows and give to these fellows, then these fellows will become rich and then those fellows will become poor. Now what you have to do? Steal from these fellows and give to those fellows. I equally am going to give to everybody, sir. Equally, how can you give to everybody? When the same car getting manufactured from the same factory, first car is different, second car is different. You know that? Performance. 2 cars are not same performance, same brand, same make, same factory, same material. Still, it's not the same. There's a difference. What do you do? One small thing changes, the whole thing changes. One small factor changes, the whole thing changes. One small factor is what? Sir, we said, it is 17 liters, 17 kilometers per liter. Where? Static. We just keep that engine rotating, that's all it is. In the same speed, without applying any brakes, without applying any bumps, without doing anything, without turning left or right or anything. If you keep going in that same speed, without any friction, the road friction also has to be only this much. If all these things were to be happening, then it is 17. Is it the same? And then we'll say what? Sir, it depends on the driver also, sir. And then it depends on the road conditions. And then it depends on the traffic conditions. And then it depends on the weather conditions. Promising will be what? You fall for what? 17. Without understanding, it is, and people go and fight. You only said no, 17. But mine is giving only 12. He says what? The driver is like that, sir. What to do? You should learn driving properly then. Now, what can you do now? What is promised and what is delivered never matches. World promises, never delivers. Will you run behind it? If you still run behind it, what are you then? That's called ignorance. That's called Brahma. Right? You are not engaging the pramana. Engage the pramana, investigate, question. When you reason, what you will come to an understanding? You come to an understanding what is promised and what is delivered or not same. Now you have a choice. Are you going to run behind that, or you are going to move in another direction? What is promised is not delivered. Now you have a choice. Doesn't matter, sir, I'll take a chance and go behind. Or have a courage and say that if it is not going to deliver, I am not interested in that. That is called Vairagya. For which first step is what? Viveka. Through the process of analysis. You analyze and dismiss. Analyze and dismiss. This is one way of doing it. Right? There are many methods. Right? We just started in one direction, so I am just moving in that direction and leaving. Yes?
Analyze and dismiss, you're saying. So analysis is again, it's true or not true or good or bad.
Not necessarily. Analysis is not necessarily has to be only one method of true or false. That's why today we saw that. What is it, sir? What is promised and what is delivered? Is it matching? If it is not matching, then I have to make a choice. What is the choice now I have? Should I go behind it, knowing well that it is not going to deliver? It will not deliver. Not today. In future it will deliver, sir. That's hope. Who has that hope? One who is disturbed. Disturbed only will go for, it may not be, but somehow he will manage. Everyone who voted for that person voted on the basis of what? Yeah, I know fully well that 2 acres of land is not available and they are not going to give. But you cannot say he will not give to anybody. To somebody he will give. No, I will be one of that somebody. You see that? Now hoping against hope. It's amazing. Everyone believes like that. That is the Brahma delusion.
So the analysis
Exposes that.
needs viveka.
Analysis is Viveka. It's the same thing. Vichara, Viveka, analysis, reasoning, thought. You question. You process it. There you come to a point. By itself will not lead to Vairagya. It will come to a point and stand and ask you. Now you know for certain it will never deliver. Now, future, no. It will not. Now what are you going to do? Run behind it? You say what? What? You think I am idiot or what? When I know fully well he is not going to do. You think I will go behind him? No. That no is called Vairagya. Right. We'll see you next class.